Hello, this is Michael Ackerman coming to you from Seattle, Washington. Today I'd like to discuss handing a home over from the seller to the buyer. Traditionally, the buyer and seller during the negotiations don't really have any interaction. They usually use the selling agent and the listing agent to do the negotiations for them. I think it's a really good idea to plan at the end of the transaction and maybe after the transaction closes for the buyer and the seller to meet so the seller can explain to the buyer a lot of the idiosyncrasies about homes. Now, the buyer will have had the opportunity to thoroughly examine the home during their inspection, but sometimes there are idiosyncrasies to a home that only a seller knows because they've lived in the home, they know the home's personality, and it's really nice for them to be able to pass all that information on to the buyers. It's also the opportunity that they can pass on warranties, anything that's warranted with the house, maybe a new roof or newer appliances, the product manuals for all the appliances, and there's some more questions that the buyers might want to prepare for the sellers to get the sellers answers to. Even if the sellers aren't comfortable meeting with them, a buyer can prepare this list, give it to their agent, and the agent could ask the listing agent to get the answers from the seller. Some other good questions to ask might be providing a landscape plan for the yard and explaining what the plants are and how each plant needs to be cared for. The phone numbers of the immediate neighbors is a really important thing. Are there other kids that live on the street? Perhaps they can leave the name of their favorite dry cleaning place, local video store, local market, so that the new buyers will know where to go. You could probably come up with some other questions on your own, but again, it might be a really nice opportunity as a buyer to get a lot of questions that you have answered from the seller who's actually lived in the neighborhood, especially if you're moving from out of town into a new city or new neighborhood. This can be really, really helpful. If you have any other questions about transferring a home from a seller to a buyer or any other questions about real estate, feel free to email me at michaelackerman@cbbain.com. And do remember, it's all about the connection.